Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today's topic, we are going to talk about buying a used cell phone. I kind of want to modify this a little bit. I want to say, let's just buy a new cell phone or just buy a cell phone, buy another cell phone. How's that? I was walking through Best Buy the other day, and actually, it turns out Best Buy's done some interesting things lately. My local Best Buy, we can actually now buy Raspberry Pis. They stock them. Weird. They stock everything needed for building a new computer, except I didn't see computer cases stocking them. I can go into my local Best Buy and buy off the shelf right now a Ryzen 7 processor. And their prices are just as competitive. That's totally awesome. So maybe they're finally understanding. But as I was walking through, it also turns out that Best Buy has a massive selection of completely unlocked phones. And since they will price match on Amazon with new stuff, chances are, if you wanted to get a new phone, picking it up at a store like Best Buy, if you have one, is probably a very good option. You never want to buy your phone directly from your carrier. The biggest problem is they stay locked to that carrier. If your carrier goes crazy in the next 6 weeks, you might be stuck with that carrier. And so I think since 2013 or 14, somewhere around there, every phone that I've purchased has been a phone that I've bought unlocked. Oftentimes I buy them used, and I have had extremely good luck with used phones. There have been two issues where I had a phone where there were issues, and so I want to talk about what you can do about these issues. Now, were these major problems or not? One of them, major problem. One of those, not so major problem. But we're going to talk about that one today because it's related to this new Nexus that I got here. And because, of course, we had the fun phone snafu where my digitizer went out and I ordered another phone and that phone came kind of damaged. And so I was like, you know what? It's just a screen and digitizer. That's $20. So I picked that up. It actually shipped to me in 2 days, and I restored my perfectly fine phone with a brand new digitizer and screen and all that other fun stuff. So my phone is basically like brand new again. And I didn't have to change operating systems or anything else. I just simply fixed the thing. And that kit gave me everything you would need. I found that the tool, like the screwdriver and stuff, was really crappy. So I actually have a good professional screwdriver kit for small devices like this. So, I did all that. But then what is the fate of the other phone? Because the problem with this phone, like when I pulled it out of the box, the battery was completely dead. And that kind of gave me a little bit of a concern. And so I did charge the battery up, and it is telling me, I've charged it up here 5 hours ago. It's telling me it has 15 hours of battery life left, but it's still at 91%. So I suspect that's going to be a little bit better. So I don't think the battery is going to have any issues. I notice the LED does not turn on. Okay, I don't really care about that. But the biggest thing is this phone, which buying them through Amazon are supposed to, according to their policy, quote, look new. And there is, you won't be able to see it on the screen, but there is a entire half-inch huge scratch on the front of the screen, which is right here. So it's right on part, and you can actually feel it with your finger. There is another less significant one down here, but it's ugly, but it's not whatever. And so I looked around and said, well, maybe I'll just send the phone back because according to Amazon's policy, I can actually get a full refund. So I skipped a couple of the steps in purchasing this phone. And if you have a problem, at least buying on Amazon, Amazon will make it right because their customer service is second to none. So with that, I want to talk about 4 steps to do, and I'll tell you which one I goofed up on. I had a little phone searching gaffe, and that was my fault. So we'll talk about this, and then we'll talk about my final thoughts. So the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out what phone you want to run and look around on multiple websites for it. What you're looking for is you want to get the general feel and the general consensus of the price. If the price is super high, that's kind of a red flag. But if the price is super low, that's also a red flag. You want to look around at the range. So this one is a Nexus phone. I think this one's 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, it says 16 gigs of RAM, black phone, and it has this cost me $100 with shipping. It was like $86 and $8 for shipping. So it ended up costing about $100. Now, I found that I can probably find even a 64 quite a bit cheaper, into the 60 to 80 range, but 100 is about the average. So I think overall the pricing is okay, but you want to look at multiple sites so that you can get a general feel. What price should you be paying to make sure you're not out of the scope? So the different places. Now I wish Quentin were on, because he buys phones from a different place. I couldn't remember where it was. So there is a good phone swapping place. Amazon itself is really good. And one of the things I like about Amazon is their return policy, because right after I bought this phone, Amazon sent me this message, and I'd like to read it to you. So I'm going to look this way so I can read it off my computer screen here. It says, "Congratulations on your recent purchase of a renewed product. To ensure your peace of mind, your renewed product comes with the Amazon Renewed Guarantee, giving you a replacement or refund within 90 days of receipt if the product does not work as expected. The same standard return policy as on all other purchases on Amazon. If the product does not look like new, quick support for claims and free troubleshooting via Amazon. What is covered? The Amazon Renewed Guarantee covers hardware problems that were not caused by the owner, such as defective parts. Theft, accidental damage, and problems associated with software or data loss are not covered under the guarantee." So in theory, you can go into Amazon and have them basically force a refund. I have executed that clause in the past. I picked up a Samsung Galaxy S5 at one point in time. There were some select models of that phone where the OLEM, I think, display kind of, if it got, like, if you set it high, no problems. If you set the display low, which I always do to conserve battery power, the screen would flicker on some of those Galaxy phones. And I had one of those phones. I contacted the seller. I didn't hear anything in 48 hours. So I got back through Amazon. Amazon sent me the thing, refunded the money instantly, and it was all back, and they were forced to accept the phone back. That is how good Amazon's return policy is. eBay, I don't know what their policy is. The other place I have actually bought phones from, and I'm not sure if you still can or not, but GameStop. Now, the way it works with GameStop, most stores, unless you're in a big city, do not actually stock phones anymore. So you get them on the website. And then what you do is you can go to the store, and then you have to talk to somebody who actually has a functioning brain, because they do not all realize you can do this. But at GameStop, you can buy from the website and ship it to the store location. That's what I always do. I pay for it at the time of order. They ship it to the store. I go and pick it up so I can test the phone before I leave the store. So if there's any issues with it, they see that I haven't left the store. I haven't broken it. That wasn't the issue. And so we can issue a return on it right then and there. So GameStop, I have always had a good luck with. Of course, one other person here says, hey, friends and family. Which is a good option as well. Poke around your friends and family groups. They're like, hey, I'm a cheapskate. I like buying used phones. If anybody's looking to buy a new phone sometime in the near future, I'd like to talk about maybe buying your old phone off of you. You can pick yourself up a good phone and do that. So there's other places you can go through. There's a lot of things. I like the Amazon guarantees and warranties. And overall, Amazon has very good customer service. So I'm okay with generally buying phones from Amazon. GameStop, like I said, is good. I've bought parts from eBay, although I usually buy computer parts from eBay. By the way, my keyboard came in for the Dell computer, so I'll be repairing the Dell computer tonight, hopefully. And so eBay is also a good place. Craigslist, I bought some phones off of Craigslist before, so don't forget about Craigslist. So just look around the different places and figure out what you're going to do. Now, number 2, double check that particular phone works on your carrier. Not all phones will work on all carriers, and you want to look into that. Now, there's times where this company that I bought the phone from here, they apparently, according to some of the reviews that I'm seeing here, they said the phone would ship with one or work with one particular carrier and ended up not working with that carrier. So be aware of, check with your carrier. Of course, your carrier are probably people who do not actually know the answers to the questions. So take that with a grain of salt. If you can get a copy of the IME number, so Craigslist particularly, check that IME number. Make sure you can plug that directly into your carrier's website somewhere. They will tell you if that particular phone is compatible. There are phones that a version will work on certain carriers and a version will work on certain other carriers. You want to make sure you're getting the right phone for the carrier you have. All right. So the next thing you want to do, and this is the one I almost always do it, but it was the very end of a very, very long day when I was ordering parts of the phone and I skipped this step. People, do your homework with the seller. This is why we had a problem. This is the seller I bought from. Breed, B-R-E-E-D. Do not buy anything from them. As of the last 30 days, they only have a 73% positive rating, 23% negative out of 279 reviews. If my brain were functioning when I was placing this order, I would have paid more to go with a company with a higher rating. Always check the ratings of the people you are buying from. Now, we'll come back to this page in a bit. Oh, by the way, here's their page on eBay. And if I go to their seller rating, it gives me this error. I don't know if this is because I don't have an eBay account. Maybe I need to be logged in to see this. I don't know. But I can't see how their ratings look on eBay. So that's a little bit on the frightening side. That's the mistake I made. I should not have gone with a seller with such a low review. So make certain if you're buying it a place where there's multiple sellers involved, like Amazon, make certain you're checking those reviews. GameStop, it's all directly furbished from their company, so it should be okay. eBay, Amazon, other places, you don't know. Check those reviews. I goofed that up. Whoopsies. And then number 4, before you buy, find out about return policies. As far as return policies, I believe Amazon is probably the best. So can I take this scratched up phone and send it back because it clearly has damage that was not disclosed? Absolutely. So I can go back through, utilize the return policy, and just simply go ahead and execute on that return policy and look at that. Now, this is where the reviews come into play, because if I go back to this page, look at these 2 comments here, which were literally just made a couple of days ago. I'm recording this video on the 30th. These were made the 27th and 26th. Worst seller, never deal with them anymore. Almost 4 weeks. They can deliver or refund the money. So completely unresponsive. This guy, they shipped a defective item. They took forever and they still have not received the refund. So where I sit right now is I have a phone that technically by the Amazon policy, I could get money back. I could go directly through Amazon. Like if I were to go through them and ship this phone back to them, and if they do not send me my money within 48 hours of them receiving it back, I could pull the execution through Amazon and Amazon will force them to take it because of their guaranteed policies. I looked at everything here, though, and I said, you know what? I'm going to keep the scratched phone. And the reason I'm going to keep the scratched phone is this. There's a few factors here. Factor number 1 is my current carrier, which is Verizon, which, by the way, I may not be sticking with them much longer, but my current carrier, which is Verizon, they are dropping all the 3G phones soon. In other words, all of the phones that I have as backup phones if my phone were to break, they will not work on the network after December. I will not be able to put them back up on the network. So I want to get a second phone just to have a spare phone laying around. Purpose number 2 is it would be neat to experiment with some of the other ROMs that are available and poke around with it. Purpose 3, as I said, I'm going to look at dropping Verizon. It would be very fun to take this little phone that is now unlocked and test it on all of these different services that are prepaid, pay-as-you-go type services and see if I can get a similar service as I can with Verizon. And so now having this secondary phone that if I drop it, I don't really care, whatever else, then I can go ahead then and activate the phone, test it out, and test both phones in the same. Now, the fact that it's the same model as the one I have is what I like, because that way it rules out some difference in the phone. If the service quality is the same or better or worse, it'll rule that out. So that way it's kind of the same thing. And then number 4, based on these reviews, if I send this thing back to them and for some reason they get all crazy, be like, wow, no, you, blah, 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 and we're not offering the refund and blah, blah, blah. I could do that. I could fight with Amazon. I would probably win. But the fact of the matter is I still want to go ahead and pick up a second phone anyway. I'm just going to take this guy out. I'm going to write it off on my business. And we're going to do some videos on it. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep the scratched up phone. That way I will be able to tell you, do these other carriers work well? Are they going to work with this type of phone? Are there better ROMs than Lineage? All these fun things I can do with this phone that, yeah, I could send this back, get the money back, and then turn around and take another risk with another company, buy another phone. Why bother? I have the phone, it's here, and if this little scratch bothers me, hey, it's just going to cost me another $15, $20 to get another screen in to replace it, so never mind. So I'm not going to fight for the refund. I'm going to let them keep the money. I mean, the sad reality is they might get this back, refund my money, and then sell it off to somebody else who gets equally mad. Why bother? So that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I decided to do. Those are my thoughts, and hopefully those 4 tips will help you when you are buying another phone. I like to use. I've had very few cases like this. The phone otherwise does seem to work just fine. You know, it's on. It still has Google on it. Ew. Yeah, it still has Google. Look at that, Google. Because I haven't bothered to wipe it yet, but we'll get there. We'll figure it out. I wanted to charge it up and make sure everything else worked and go from there. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below.